Welcome back to Nerdcouver. We're here live from Reva's apartment.
Very early
studio.
time of day.
Reva's studio.
And we've switched the order a bit because Nathan abdicated a spot and I've stolen it.
Oh look, a cat!
Yay! There was my cat Aspen. Bye,
there she
Aspen.
goes.
That was a random encounter. So if we're starting with Aspen,
The new 4 Points comic came out this week, and that's my pick. Woo!
Okay.
Jordan Gunderson. I'll see you next week in Las Vegas. Okay. I'm excited.
Bring me back lots of money.
I don't even. I'm like gonna give myself like $20 and that's it.
Play smart. You walk out with like 100.
Yeah, that's all I ever do. Like I always go with like I've got $20. Once it's gone, I'm done. Because honestly, I don't like the idea of just giving someone my money.
Yeah.
There's nothing coming back.
That's true.
So, anyways, yes, I'll be at. Well, I guess there's one more Wednesday before then, but I'll be at Amazing Las Vegas.
cool.
Yeah. And they booked my flight for San Diego.
Comic-Con.
Anyways, I got 4 Points by Jordan Gunderson and Jeff Lobel.
Or Scotland.
Scotland. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Do you need more of the iced coffee?
Take a sip.
It's gonna be okay.
It was a long
We'll
night.
get through this.
There's 2 covers.
So 2 covers, yeah. There's usually 4 covers. The artwork was really good. I get what's happening in it. I don't necessarily know if I enjoyed this issue.
Well, what's going on? What aren't you enjoying?
Scott Lobdell's writing.
I want to not meet him and he'll be like, I hate this girl.
That's okay. I'll take all the blame. I don't like his writing.
You're already taking it from other writers today.
I know.
Wow.
I'm just gonna add to my list of writers that hate me.
Yeah. I love seeing Jordan's art again, and I loved all of it. But that's basically, they're like, the idea is like they tested the group or whatever, and they're 4 points versing off against the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Apparently this happens all the time.
Yeah.
It does.
Really?
That's what they just how they describe it. Oh, the center page is coming out.
Oh dear. Hidden damage.
Damage. I really enjoyed seeing Jordan turn Aspen into full water. It was cool. I like his artwork a lot. That's really
How is she
cool.
being grabbed by the throat if she's full on water?
Because he's deaf.
Okay.
Well, it's pestilence.
Yeah, oh yeah. So like, they have abnormal powers too, right? So
Yeah.
they said the 4 horsemen and then our guardian or something, or like.
Oh wait, was he
Or,
pestilence or was he deaf?
I think he was. I thought he was deaf. No, he must be pestilent. That's how it looks like
Yeah.
death.
Well, he makes everyone sick.
They
Yeah,
both
so
look,
it, like,
they
he
both
spreads a
look
plague.
like a lot like that.
They look kind of dull, to be
Yeah.
honest. If you're gonna have the 4 horsemen of apocalypse, if they're gonna be like your
This
big
is-
thing.
They're the
Well-
first reveal is this picture of the 4 horsemen. Yeah.
This one is war,
Yeah.
so he's kind of cool.
Mm.
Well, better than
Unamused
pestilence.
Aaron is unamused.
Well, no, it's practicality of design. Like, I'm a big fan of just superhero stuff in general, clearly, because I'm consistently talking about Valiant and Marvel and everything else. Yes, DC. But I'm actually really excited about a lot of the stuff DC is putting out this week. But just practicality of armor design, like if you're going to have war,
Whoa.
you would think that war
you're
would...
you're gonna pick away. No.
No, it's okay.
You're gonna pick away at an Aspen comic today.
I'm going to pick away at an Aspen comic, and that's okay.
No.
Because it's not that I...
My cat is named Aspen.
I get that, but it's not that I'm picking away at it out of cruelty or because I want them to fail. I want them to succeed, and anything that exists in a vacuum without criticism isn't going to grow or get better. Like I've started reading Aspen specifically because of you, so and I want them to do well because I think a lot of the concepts that they're putting out, like even the 4 points thing, sounds like a really really interesting idea, and I'd like to see it developed, and I'd like to see it good. And the idea of having people fighting against the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, I mean, that's cool. But I'd like to see it
really weird.
done well. Like, Wildstorm back in the day did a thing with Deathblow versus the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and that was awesome. So, and I mean, Marvel literally has the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse running around, because Apocalypse is right there.
Yeah.
This just looks drab.
Yeah. The artwork's awesome.
The art is like the only saving grace for this, I think. Very good idea, just poor
Or execution.
writing.
Yeah.
But-
I would have liked to see Vince write
Yeah,
this. Or
I
Frank.
think if they did have another writer on it, it would be really good. But
Yeah, I
it's
don't
Scott Lobdell.
The Last Ship? I don't know.
It's an all-new TNT show.
Mm.
I don't know. It's
Not every comic.
But yeah. Yeah, 4 points.
That's all I got.
They do have connecting covers. This
Yeah!
is the first one of 4. Obviously, they're going to feature the 4 ladies.
Do you want to talk about Valiant?
Sure.
Let's talk about Valiant.
Oops. That
So-
sounds my phone
That's
again.
not me!
So,
Aspen gave you a dirty look.
Fix that.
Exo Manowar is one of the comics that I genuinely refer to as the best of all comics. And the reason why is nothing is static. Everything is constantly changing. There's an incredible degree of depth, character, growth, consequence, all that fun stuff that I really like, along with really, really good art. One of the conceits that we've continually gotten since the beginning of Exo is there are a whole whack of the armors that Exo Manowar wears, and they're a plant-based alien species that doesn't have consciousness, but gains consciousness by bonding with a host and then gives them godlike powers. The one that Exo...
Wait, they're venom symbiotes?
Sort of, but they're plants.
Alright.
Plant armor. Oh man, that would be so handy for cosplay.
Really, yeah.
Just
But it also
program it
does
in.
a whole whack of other things. There's an increased amount of consciousness and intelligence and whatever else. But we've been led to believe that the armor that our favorite space Viking is wearing is somehow unique, and it has a name, and is the actual god of an alien civilization called the Vine. And the Vine are the ones that grabbed our space Viking to begin with. So we've never really gotten an explanation as to why this armor is different, and we finally get it here. So this is the 25th anniversary special of Exo Manowar,
Ooh.
because Valiant went away for a while and then resurrected from the ashes in kind of impressive fashion, but that's a whole other kettle of fish. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see how that develops and where that civilization comes from and how it relates to that character, and how an entire religion and civilization grew around this armor from their prehistory until their modern day. Because we've literally gotten their apocalypse story recently in the Exo.
What is
stuff.
a theme?
So
Hey, apocalypses are fun. Ragnarok is great. The same thing is sort of happening at Coffin Hill,
Whoa.
where getting an insane witch who's been thirsting for vengeance for 300 or 400 years and manipulating her bloodline, her descendants through a bloodline curse, is finally like, you're going to do what I tell you to, or I'm going to wipe out the entire town and get what I want anyway. So we're getting mother and estranged daughter, who is the main character of the book, teaming up against their forebear and trying to stop her from doing terrible things. And again, it's one of those books where the art is fantastic, but it's the writing and the complexity of narrative that really makes it. I was going to do Catwoman, but we'll start off with The Last Padawan, because Reva was looking at it, and we were actually talking about this at Northwest Fan Fest with the people from Thunderquack podcast. Because this comic is amazing, and the idea is that you've got Kanan from Rebels, and he never actually finished his Jedi training. He's still a Padawan when the kill order comes through.
Was he
And
not at the temple?
He wasn't at the temple. He was out in the field. His master got slaughtered, and he
Alright.
escaped. So
Okay.
he's now learning how to hide himself as a Jedi and ignore the Force completely. And so everything that he was trained to, everything that he's sort of internalized and become a core part of his identity, he has to hide and
I
give
want to watch
up.
Rebels so badly.
Rebels is amazing.
I've heard.
Rebels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Rebels, come over to my place sometime. We will watch the entirety of Rebels and then
Okay.
do a thing on it.
Cool.
I agree.
Sounds
Yes, awesome. So this comic deals with just how bad the Empire got and what it was like, what it's like to lose your identity and have to hide everything you
Wait,
are.
is this after the? So it's like, it's continuing after the last, like,
It's after
the
episode
first
3.
three. Oh,
Yeah, so it's
that's
after-
interesting because like Princess Leia takes out after number 6.
Yeah. Well, this takes
4.
off. This takes
Takes
off just
place
after
takes
Revenge
place
of the
after number
Sith.
4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Princess Leia's after New Hope.
Yeah. So if
So Star Wars.
if you want to see what it's like
And Vader.
to have to give up everything that you are in order to try and survive, this is a really interesting comic to read. The artwork is, like all of the Marvel Star Wars comics, really good.
Oh, and they got all
Because
their...
Disney's in
and they got
charge.
their go-to colors
Yeah.
to color it, too.
Yeah. And the writing is really, really
Colors
tight
is
and
really
interesting,
good.
and it
On
deals
something.
with a lot of loss. And it gives a lot of weight to the cartoon. So this one is sort of interesting. I know that there's a lot of people that like it and a lot of people that don't. It's a very, very conflicted book in that way. They brought on in like a crime novelist to write Catwoman, which is already a kind of an interesting idea because, you know, Catwoman is very, very much immersed in Gotham crime. And in Batman Eternal, Batman failed. And nobody felt that more than Selina, who, despite herself, has a lot of faith in Bruce. And so she decided that Bruce's way is wrong, and the only way to really save Gotham, because Gotham cannot be saved, was to control and shape the various crime families that run it. So she's trying to take over Gotham. She's pulling an incredible heist where she's basically wresting control from all of the various crime families that run Gotham from the shadows. And it's an interesting battle. They've set up Black Mask as her nemesis, which actually kind of works, because Catwoman is all about... Selina's all about tactics. She's a very tactical thinker, she's a very free thinker, and she's very, very flexible. The classical chaotic good.
Flexible.
Well, she's
Anyways.
chaotic good or chaotic neutral.
Sorry, I had flashbacks to Catwoman #1.
So I try to block that out of my
That
memory
cover.
as much as possible.
I'm not
Oh,
thinking about the
God.
cover, I'm literally thinking about the exact content of the comic.
Yeah. I just want to state for the record that I don't like that kind of art, and the reason why is because I can't look at it without thinking, that really has to hurt. Like, it's just painful. The artwork in
I
this
still
is
like
really
the
good.
Guild March.
The artwork in this is all about shadows. So it's a lot of negative space and just a lot of how those characters are spaced. There's also a really annoying Twix ad in the
Yeah.
center of the
all of
comic.
them.
All of
And
them.
it's
All
like,
month
what the
long for
hell?
DC books.
So
All
I just want to state
Is
for the
that
record.
Nick Lachey?
Yes, Nick Lachey is in the
What?
middle of every DC book all month.
And it's just annoying. But the coloring in this, the shadows in this, the build in this, everything is fantastic. As a part of trying to take over, Selina's had to give up being the Catwoman identity. So she's been wrestling with having to deal with a very, very controlled environment that is not something that she's used to. And somebody's been running around as Catwoman. So there's been a lot of conflict between the two of them, and then that's
I saw
built.
those J. Lee covers.
Oh yeah.
Those are awesome covers.
Those are-
Jay Lee's art is fantastic.
Well, I mean, not when he's on an actual book.
No, but as a cover artist, he's phenomenal. So she finally reclaims the Catwoman identity and starts doing stuff, and it's primarily because she's just found out that Bruce has died, and you get a beautiful sequence where she learns that and has to sort of keep a straight face, and finally breaks down when she's in the space where she can do so safely. This run has been amazing, and I love it. It's a natural evolution of the character, and I'm really, really interested to see where it goes. So, Mantle #2.
I didn't read it either.
I don't know. I'm struggling with this book. And the reason why is because I think it has a lot of potential, but I think it also just sort of shot itself in the
Wait, hang
foot.
on. I saw the last page reveal. Okay.
Yeah. Do we want to talk spoilers? Spoiler alert!
Everything's gonna be spoilers. We don't do not spoilers.
Yeah, really. If you're looking for reviews on comics, like we're talking about the comics themselves, so there's going to be spoilers in our stuff. Let's just get
Wait.
that out of the way now.
This is week 7, if you haven't realized. We spoil
Spoilers!
You get little signs.
I
We
wanna
should
get a
try,
unicorn.
one week we should
No,
try
like,
not
pieces that I can
spoiling
take
all
off
the
of
good
it.
comics.
We need to get like the
Well-
robot unicorn attack
Oh my god.
gift just going by.
There's some things that we don't spoil. Like if it's like a super big reveal, then we won't spoil it.
Yeah.
But
At the end of the last issue, the girlfriend got the powers, and so now she's struggling with the powers, and you know the headless corpse of her former boyfriend.
that she
And
drags to the hospital.
Which
That was
yeah,
pretty funny.
that's a great idea.
at first, like, when the nurse sees the headless guy and she's just like, we need a gurney in a wheelchair. I'm just like,
Stat!
Does she realize that he doesn't have a head?
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
She's trying to deal with the crazy person who just brought in a headless body.
In a
And
weird costume.
Good
Yeah.
on her. We get more stuff with Plague, but he seems much less sympathetic in this issue than he did before. But there's still that sense of wariness, where he's just
Wait.
like, I'm just
I
I'm
think
done
we-
with this.
in
I
issue
think we
one.
blew past
Well-
Pete's thoughts on this if he's destroying innocent people in this comic.
Well, that was my thought as well.
Yeah, because in the first issue, the Plague only goes after the
hero.
Mantle.
Yeah.
Whereas in this issue, he goes to the hospital where the Mantle is and just starts killing
Destroying people indiscriminately.
Yeah.
But there's still, dialogue-wise, he's just like, listen, I am so done with this. I am so tired and so bored. Just tell me where the Mantle is and nobody else will have to get hurt.
Yeah, like he says, I have tried not to involve your kind, but no more. I have no more patience for interference. And then that's when he starts killing people.
Yeah.
So,
And then we discover, okay, so the girlfriend's entire motivation at this point is she loves her boyfriend. Her dead boyfriend, her dead headless boyfriend. And that's it. That's all we know about her. That's her entire reason for being. So when she
Oh,
escapes...
and she's a vegetarian.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Raison d'etre.
So then she discovers that when she dies, all of the mantles sort of gather together in some sort of afterlife, and so why is she going to continue living? Why does she care if the plague kills her at that point? Because she knows she knows for a fact she's going to be reunited with the only person that she cares about.
Yeah.
So,
She's a hero.
no, she
Why?
isn't. She really doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
She really doesn't want the power at all. She actually asked the other heroes to take it away, so...
I probably should have read the book before saying things.
It's okay.
I only got to read one, so.
There's a whole whack of books that you've read this week that I haven't had time to yet, and I'm sure I'll be giving some weird commentary on them too.
It's true, but
Yeah.
this week I'm only going to talk about the DC ones, and then
What?
maybe chip
Oh
in.
my god.
I actually have look. I actually have lots of DC books
You
to
do
talk
have
about
lots
this
of
It's
week.
awesome.
But
I'm
yeah,
so happy.
Mantle I found was a little bit underwhelming, especially with such a strong start.
Yeah.
So I was kind of disappointed with this
How do I feel
issue,
about this issue.
but
Or the other issue.
I don't know. I'm gonna keep on reading it for sure because
The art is still really strong.
It
I
is, yeah.
love the difference in art styles between the Afterlife and...
oh yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
The purgatory scenes with
Yeah,
And the dialogue is still
Little
interesting.
peruse,
It's
that's
just,
right there.
yeah. So
so I'm curious to see where it goes, but I'm less enamored of it than I was after the first issue, which again was just really, really strong. But I really like Ed Brisson. Like I've learned to really appreciate his writing, and I like the art team, so I'm
Yeah.
going to continue on.
keep on going. Hopefully the next issue will leave us a little less disappointed.
Yeah. And Lantern City, where Jenna and I also
Hey.
both read it.
I didn't read it, but it's part of my pull list.
It's amazing. It's really, really good world building, more
It
than it
is.
is
Mhm.
character building or anything else. The artwork is really pretty, but it's the depth of the world.
It's
That makes
the first issue was so much information. Like,
This is less information, but just still delving into that world and exploring it and giving it a greater sense of depth and detail.
I found the first issue was really good at bringing you inside, like making you feel like what the character's feeling and understanding what's happening and what their decisions and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of Final Fantasy VII, where you have like the upper
Totally.
level.
Especially
Oh,
that picture.
And then the
Totally.
slums.
This reminds me of the first level where I barely actually passed because
Yeah,
I
in
hated the game.
Midgar. He ends up getting a guard's uniform at the end of the first issue, and then starts infiltrating the upper levels. So
So he's become a soldier,
Mhm.
like Cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. I love the artwork in it, and
He's also sort of assumed a rank,
yeah,
which
a
is
captain.
interesting. Yeah. And
Alright,
people
he's-
call him on it, because there's one guy who realizes, wait, there's something wrong with this, and then that guy gets shot.
Yeah, lucky for him.
Yeah.
There's only one guy. Hey, you!
And then there's another dude that's just like, hey, you don't seem like you're a captain because all these weird things keep on happening and you were missing for an hour in the battle.
Mhm.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how he goes around.
Well, particularly with the last page.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, by the way, the dude that you stole the uniform from has
Faceless Stormtrooper has a family, and yeah.
And you're in his house right now in his uniform, and they're just like, Who are you? So yeah, that's definitely going to be really interesting. I think the third issue is going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, the
So-
second was already really awesome. The first
Mhm.
was fantastic. So
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited to see what this
Does
is.
anyone know, is there a TV show or is it coming out?
I wasn't aware that there was a TV show, but I'm really
Yeah,
excited
there
by
is
the
a
possibility of
Twitter,
one.
on Twitter, there is
That
a
sounds like
Lantern
it.
City TV, and they keep on tweeting.
Maybe they want a TV show?
I don't know.
Okay,
It
I'm
had a
gonna-
huge starting package that came into the store before this comic came out. I remember being like, first one to notice it.
I think, was it a Kickstarter?
I don't know, maybe.
I'm gonna hunt that down because I'm curious. Because
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the comics, and if there's a TV show, I want to watch it.
Yeah, I think it would be an amazing TV show, especially if they can make the scenery
Yeah.
the same.
Mhm.
So, yeah, but definitely I like it.